Everything you see is only half the story. The rest, the force behind it all, is invisible, but it's more real than what meets the eye. Let me explain. But before we get into it, good morning, everyone! And thank you so much for joining me here on a brand new episode of Shaar HaBechina. Now, Rav Av opens our eyes today to the truth that most of the world is blind to. That all of creation is made of two dimensions. There's matter and there's spirit, which we know as Gashmias and Ruchnias. And yes, we can observe matter, which is the Gashmias portion. We can test it, we can measure it, we could really hold it in our hands, but without spirit, without the Ruchnias inside it, which is the invisible energy that Hashem placed with in each one of those things, it's kind of lifeless. It's empty. It's like a shell. There's nothing there. So, for instance, if you take a seed to a scientist, they can break it apart and they can analyze it and they can see its structure and they can explain what it's made of. But that scientist, they can't explain why this seed becomes a tree. They can't see what force tells it to grow upward instead of down, and what wisdom lies inside that brown little dot, that little speck of really nothingness that gives birth to fruit at the end of the day, this massive tree, right? Or it gives us shade, or creates forests. It's not chemistry. That's the Ruchnias portion of the Gashmias. And that's the pulse of life. And that is really the word of Hashem. Now, giving what Hashem gave us, He puts it into form and function into every single thing. Now, Rav Av calls this the secret of the world. And really, it's everywhere. It's all around us. If you see a tree, there's more than just wood and bark to that tree. You see a wave in the ocean, there's really more than the water. And every breath of air you take and every beat of your heart, it's being guided by Hashem's kindness and His wisdom and design. That's the Ruchnias part. And he says over here in Rav Av that this duality, this two-piece over here, the visible and the invisible, is what the Torah means when it says, by the words of Hashem, the heavens were made. That's what it says in the Torah. The word of Hashem, meaning when he says that word, it's not just creation, but it's His ongoing direction and His purpose and of chesed to this world. Now, what's our job? Our job is to see it, to study it, to reflect on it, and ultimately to feel a sense of awe, not just that Hashem created the world, but that He runs it constantly with love, with brilliance, and all for really a common goal, which is to bring kindness to mankind, to everybody, to every creature on this planet. And if we walk through life and only see the Gashmias, the material world, we're really missing the truth. But if we open our eyes, if we let Rav Av train our vision, we'll start seeing something else. We'll start seeing a world that's filled with purpose, with intention, with love. And once we see that, once we understand that, and we understand that Hashem opens His hand to sustain all of life, right? Then we'll also open our own hands and become true vessels for His kindness. And so the idea over here is to open the eyes to realize, to understand, and to see that what the physical portion is, what the Gashmias portion is only one half of that equation. There's always Ruchnias behind everything in creation. Thank you, everyone, for joining me here today, and I love you all.